My boyfriend Nathan is dating 10 girls at the same time. He said he could have a son. Whoever can marry him. As a result, his white moonlight Isabella made me take gender transformation medicine. Let my son in my womb become a daughter. I don't want to have an abortion, but Nathan had 4 bodyguards assault me. His beautiful moonlight, Isabella, is still live streaming. Everyone on the internet is mocking me. I hope my wishes come true. I ultimately lost my life. Open your eyes again. I found myself lying in the ultrasound room. Unexpectedly gained an opportunity to switch genders. This time, I not only want to protect my child, it is also necessary to turn her into a woman. Let all those who have hurt me in the past pay the price. I opened my eyes. I found myself lying in the ultrasound room. At that moment, my boyfriend Bai Yueguang, Isabella, tricked me into drinking a kind of medicine. The son in my belly has turned into a daughter. Nathan's mother looked at the ultrasound report. The originally excited expression immediately turned cold. It's indeed a money-losing product. Wasted my family member Nathan's precious sperm. Isabella is smiling proudly beside. Yes, brother Nathan is so outstanding. Except for me, no one deserves him. She is Nathan's beloved. She is already expecting 3 daughters. Nathan's mother disagrees with their marriage. Nathan also had 10 girlfriends at the same time. Want to increase the chances of having a boy. The other 9 girlfriends all had baby girls. Ultimately, the choice was to have an abortion. Only I am expecting a boy. Isabella was worried. I don't know where they got the hormone treatment. She had a portion for herself. Transforming a daughter into a son. Then it made me swallow it. Turn the son into a daughter. Nathan looked at his watch, seemed very impatient. Evelyn, to accompany you for the prenatal checkup. I have wasted half an hour. The Nathan group does not need a daughter. I have arranged for you to have an abortion. This man was particularly gentle when he was pursuing me. She would make me brown sugar water when my aunt was in pain. I hope I will always be the treasure in his heart. But now, he treated me as an annoying weed. Don't care about me at all, until I pass away. I finally realized that the deep affection of the past was nothing more than cheap industrial saccharin. He casually copied it for other women. I looked at him coldly, say, "No, I disagree." Nathan's expression suddenly became very serious, waved his hand and said, "This is not a place for you to speak." Next, he commanded, "Drag her to the operating room." Instant, 4 strong, muscular bodyguards appeared. I remember those who once laid hands on me. I feel cold in my limbs. The body began to tense up in a previous life. I don't want to have surgery, struggling desperately. Nathan wants me to realize his toughness. Let the bodyguard beat me hard. Wait for me to start begging for mercy. After being obedient, they took me in for surgery, but I am not someone who can withstand such blows. It soon ended in miscarriage. Nathan and his mother have already left. I feel very weak. Please ask Isabella to come and save me, but she was live streaming the whole time with her phone. Poor attitude. You actually dare to think about taking away brother Nathan? I will let you know. To aspire for something greater comes at a cost. Thousands of people flooded into the live streaming room. Everyone is criticizing me for thinking I can be with Nathan. It's not something that ordinary people can access in order to enter high society, willing to be a mistress. It really makes modern women feel ashamed. If it were ancient times, people like me may face harsher punishments. What does a miscarriage count for? It's simply too light. Isabella also contacted the leaders of my alma mater and the company. My alma mater promptly removed my name from the wall of honorary alumni. The company quickly fired me. In the live broadcast, even neighbors I had only met once when we were children came out to criticize me for not saying hello. Wait for the live broadcast to end. I feel completely drained of energy. At this moment, the bodyguard has already punched me hard in the stomach. I crouched on the ground in pain, screaming, "Nathan, I'm having a son." It is Isabella who is framing me. If you don't believe it, let her check again. Isabella's face turned pale. What are you talking about? I really haven't done anything. I didn't respond to her, just glaring at Nathan. Give me another chance. If it weren't for my son, I really want to jump down from the 30th floor. Perhaps it was the determination in my eyes that made Nathan hesitate. Okay, then I'll give you 1 more minute. I was thinking that I hope to use a gender-reversing magic for the baby in my belly, after use, except for me. Everyone thinks that the man is a woman, the woman is a man. However, this is my first attempt. I don't know what it will turn out to be like. Hey, that's all right then. The worst case is jumping down from the 30th floor. Anyway, I have already experienced life and death once. A minute suddenly felt so long. Suddenly, the doctor started to laugh. Congratulations. Nathan, Evelyn is pregnant with a boy. Once this sentence is spoken, Nathan's face immediately lit up. Nathan's mother excitedly took my hand. Good. Okay, good. I knew it, you have a full figure. It will definitely be a son. Nathan Group now has 2 grandsons. Truly, it's a blessing from our ancestors. Standing next to her is Isabella. It feels like being hit hard by someone. The smile on her face suddenly vanished. His lips began to tremble. She could hardly hold back a shout. This is impossible. There must have been an accident. I stared at her coldly and said, Isabella, why are you so sure that this result is incorrect? Did you really do something to me? In fact, this is how the situation is. But she cannot admit it. So she quickly shook her head. No, I just feel that. I am already pregnant with a son. According to probability, yours should be a daughter. The essence of Nathan Group is more daughters and fewer sons. I heard that among 10 children, there is only 1 boy. The others are all girls. I looked at Isabella with a determined gaze. The tone is calm yet slightly provocative. In other words, Isabella no longer fully trusts the doctor's judgment. The doctor felt a bit unhappy after hearing that. I am the best obstetrician and gynecologist in the country. Never made a mistake. Isabella quickly smiled and said, I didn't mean that. However, could it be that there is a problem with the machine, Brother Nathan? This is an important matter concerning the heir. Let's check it one more time. Nathan listened to her say this, a little nervous as well. Isabella is really thoughtful. Then let's test it again. I am not worried at all, because the effect of this golden finger will persist as long as I do not cancel it. It has been effective all along. Of course, the true gender has not changed. I smiled lightly, say, no problem, however, for the sake of fairness, let's both review it together again. Isabella said confidently, good. Half an hour later, the new test results have come out. The doctor began to announce the results. Isabella is expecting a girl. Evelyn is expecting a boy. The whole room instantly fell silent. Then, Isabella exclaimed, this is impossible. You must be mistaken. Please help me retest it. I also applied a gender reversal approach to handle the child in her womb. Nathan frowned as he looked at Isabella. Inquire about the way. Isabella, what's going on? Haven't you always said that you're having a son? Isabella's face turned pale. Sweat broke out on the forehead. Answered somewhat nervously. This is impossible. There must be something wrong. She started to have some doubts. Could it be that the medicine I took before wasn't effective? I smiled slightly. It's really just talking to oneself. Isabella felt shame and anger. The body feels a bit unsteady. Almost lost my balance. She stared at me fiercely. Her eyes were filled with rage. The Isabella family is facing difficulties. I want to continue living a luxurious life. Marrying Nathan Group is the best option. She is very eager to become Mrs. Nathan. I don't believe it. I need to go to another hospital for an examination. Isabella couldn't hold back anymore. Slamming the door and leaving, she went to all the hospitals in the city, even went abroad on purpose. All the test results indicated is a girl. Nathan's mom warmly took me back to her home. It felt as if I were her daughter who had been lost for many years. In her heart, the greatest value of a woman lies in giving birth to a son. Evelyn, although you and Nathan did not have a wedding, but in my heart, you are the daughter-in-law of the Nathan Group. As her gaze swept over Isabella, instantly became aloof. What a pity. Some people are clearly carrying a troublesome child, but still deceived me. Insist on being with my son, in the previous life. Nathan's mom has called me a loser more than once. She blames me for wasting Nathan's excellent genes. Now it's Isabella's turn to complain. Isabella's complexion suddenly turned quite bad. Tears fell down all at once, jumped into Nathan's arms, cried and said, Woohoo, Nathan, I want to have a son for you. Really working hard, do not leave me behind. Next time, I will definitely have a son. Nathan felt a pang of compassion in his heart. He and Isabella grew up together since childhood. The feelings run deep. If it weren't to ensure the continuation of the Nathan Group, he has been married to Isabella for a long time. Don't worry, I will always love you. All right, you will be my official wife. Evelyn becomes my secondary wife. This way, everyone is satisfied. I rolled my eyes. Nathan, did you come from ancient times? Who would be willing to be your concubine? If it weren't for you deceiving me, I would never date a man who is playing the field. I hope my son can be born with dignity. If you are unwilling, I immediately went to have an abortion. Nathan's mom was terrified, quickly shook his head and said, No, my precious grandson must be born to the legitimate wife. Isabella, you are pregnant with a losing investment, can only be a concubine. Isabella was so angry that her face changed color. I saw that she was unhappy. I feel especially proud. Afternoon, when no one is around, I quietly called the mysterious person. Fortunately, there is your antidote. My baby has turned back into a boy. If you sell gender transition medication to Isabella again in the future, remember to give me the antidote immediately. This way, you can earn money from two sources. I can also feel at ease now. I glanced. I caught a glimpse of Isabella's figure as it flashed by. She heard my words, then drove towards the suburbs. I had already installed a tracking chip in her car. The car stopped in front of a small grove. In front of Isabella stood a man who seemed rather unreliable. I turned on the camera, seeing Isabella with an angry expression. Refund, give me back 1 million. The man smiled slyly. Isabella, what reason do you have for me to issue a refund? You tell me. The medication for changing gender I provided. Are you changing your daughter in your belly into a son? Transform Evelyn's son into a daughter. Isabella frowned. Of course there is a way, but you sold the antidote to Evelyn. Ruined my plan. Antidote. That thing doesn't exist at all. You are trying to scam money. Aren't you? Isabella was angry. Prepare to take action. I secretly felt pleased. This time I will definitely expose your true self. After returning home, I sat comfortably in the living room. Wait for everyone to arrive. Then, send the video to Nathan's mom and Nathan. Nathan's mom felt very uncomfortable and upset. Gave Isabella a slap directly. You person, I have long thought that you are not a good person. How can you turn my grandson into a granddaughter? Almost caused the Nathan group to be cut off from future generations. It's truly shocking. I added my own embellishments from the sidelines. Fortunately, I found the antidote. Just turn the child back. However, if such a situation occurs again, I don't know if I can escape again. That being said, among the 8 girls lost before, it could also be that some boys have transformed. Nathan clenched his fists. The complexion is not good. In order to be able to date 10 girlfriends at the same time, he has invested a lot, at least lost $1 billion, but the person he loved the most wasted his efforts. Isabella, you really disappoint me. Isabella cannot be evasive about things. Hurry up and kneel down to beg for mercy. Mom, I'm sorry. I acted foolishly and made a mistake at that time. I will never dare to do it again. She ran over to ask me again. Sister Evelyn, help me say something. Your son is fine. I didn't hurt you. I pushed her away with 1 foot. In the previous life, she killed me and my son. This life, I will never let her escape easily. Isabella cried sorrowfully. Tears and mucus are flowing out. She went to seek Nathan. Brother Nathan, I love you very much. I just wanted to be your only wife. Moreover, I have a favorable feng shui that brings good fortune to my partner. You are with me. Nathan group will continue to improve. Nathan felt a bit wavered inside. He let out a soft sigh. Mom, Evelyn, let's forgive Isabella this time. I let out a small scoff. Favorable for husbands. Haha, have you been paying attention to what's happening online? Nathan frowned. Online? What does it mean? He turned on his phone. I just realized that things have escalated. 2 news stories have topped the trending list. The president of Nathan Group has been exposed for dating 10 girlfriends simultaneously. Isabella, family's heiress, is in a hurry for her son to inherit the family business due to her use of illegal drugs, led to the president of Nathan Group losing his son. Many netizens were stunned. Now there are actually people who want to have children. Surprisingly, they showed no regard for morality, having so many girlfriends in this way. Even medication for changing gender has emerged. Except for me and Isabella, Nathan's 9 other girlfriends came forward one after another. I want to share my experience of being scammed, and demanded compensation for the loss of youth. Nathan's aloof image instantly crumbled. It caused a huge uproar online because it involves prohibited substances. The police immediately began their investigation. The public relations departments of Nathan Group and the Isabella family were extremely busy. The company's stock price also fell significantly. Nathan's mother is very angry. Directly lose your temper at Isabella. Indeed, it's useless. Not only did it not add a new member to our family, this also led to a 50% drop in Nathan Group's shares. Look at how everyone is criticizing us, the Nathan Group, now. It is all your responsibility. You are not someone who can bring good luck at all. What an unfortunate character. Isabella is covered in wounds. Sorrowfully seek help from Nathan. Brother Nathan, anyway, I still love you. I straightened my stomach, speak firmly. For my son's safety, Isabella must leave Nathan Group. Nathan rubbed his temples. I feel a severe headache. Isabella, I like you too, but Evelyn's safety is the most important. You should leave. You can be my lover. Continue to enjoy my love. I almost couldn't help but laugh in this world. Only money is the most important thing. Who needs that worthless love? However, Isabella did not dare to argue back, had no choice but to pack up while crying, leave Nathan Group. Before leaving, she glared at me fiercely. Evelyn, don't be so smug. I have a way to deal with you. Not long, you will find that things are different. I puffed out my chest. There are children present. I have nothing to be afraid of. She smiled coldly. That's not necessarily the case. 2 days later, I went shopping by myself. I planned to buy some baby clothes. Suddenly, 2 big guys came over. I was drugged. When I woke up, I found myself lying on a hotel bed. My hands and feet are weak. Want to sit up, but fell onto someone. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a guy in his 20s. He closed his eyes, not wearing any clothes. Clearly, he was also mesmerized. I was taken aback, immediately understood. This is Isabella's plot. At this moment, urgent footsteps sounded outside the door. The door was knocked on loudly. Nathan said coldly, "Evelyn, open the door quickly." Isabella shouted excitedly. The voice conveyed urgency. "Brother Nathan, you must believe me. I saw them together with my own eyes." Next, Nathan's mother's voice came through. "If Evelyn dares to be unfaithful to Nathan Group, I will never let her have it easy." Oh no, how should I deal with this matter? My eyes lit up, came up with a solution. He shouted loudly at once. "Nathan, wait a moment, I have a small situation," Isabella said with a smile. "Ha ha, I knew there would be a problem. Brother Nathan, Evelyn seems to have something on her mind. I don't dare to open the door." Nathan's expression was serious. "Break it open for me. Soon, someone is using a hammer to hit the door." The door shattered in response. Nathan, Isabella, and Nathan's mother rushed in together. I was startled, shouted immediately, "Stop, don't come over." I was lying in bed with that boy, covered with a quilt under the soft blanket. 2 silhouettes can be clearly seen. Isabella is very proud. He pointed a stick at me. "Great, Evelyn. You are pregnant but still can't help sneaking a bite. You make it difficult for brother Nathan." "Mom, the child in her womb definitely isn't Nathan's. Take a look. The child's father is on the bed." Nathan's expression turned grim. "Evelyn, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person." Nathan's mother hurried over to try to lift the blanket. Isabella pointed at me with the stick in her hand. I was startled. "Do not lift. Sorry. I am unable to fulfill this request." I'm about to cry from anxiety. "Quickly pull the quilt over and cover her up." "Mom, it was said not to open it, right? What should we do now? She is my good friend, drank too much. I am not at ease. Just here taking care of her while she sleeps. Now you've seen everything. How can she face others?" Everyone was surprised. Isabella was stunned. "Shake your head. How could this happen? Clearly, he is a male college student." Nathan's mom quickly covered her best friend with a blanket. "What's the big deal about this? I am a woman. There's no harm in taking a look." Nathan turned his head, cleared his throat lightly. "I'm sorry, I have poor vision. I didn't see anything." "No way. My best friend hasn't gotten married yet. What can she do now? You give me 1 million. I can buy a bag to give to her as an apology." Nathan can only transfer 1 million to me on the spot. I intentionally asked again. "My best friend got drunk unexpectedly. The hotel that was just booked. How did you find me so quickly?" Nathan's mother replied angrily. "It's still not Isabella. She said she saw you with a man." I slapped her in anger. "Isabella, you just want to wrongfully accuse me like this. I understand. You not only want to shift the responsibility onto me, you still want to cause me harm at this moment. Let me lose my child." Isabella immediately threw away the stick in her hand. I am just using a stick to protect myself." I threw myself into Nathan's arms, cried out loud, "Nathan, I really don't want to have children anymore. Feeling anxious all day long. Can't eat well, can't sleep well. I have lost several pounds over the past few days." Nathan's mom hurried over to comfort me. "Pregnancy is like this. I was quite nervous when I was pregnant with Nathan. Whether Nathan Group has an heir depends on you. Evelyn, you must hold on." I said, sobbing, "I can give birth to a child, but there are 2 conditions. The first thing is that we need to get our marriage certificate immediately. The second is that all the assets of Nathan Group are to be inherited by my son." Isabella was infuriated upon hearing that. "No, I disagree. Only the children of me and my brother Nathan can inherit the Nathan Group." Nathan's mother sarcastically asked her, "What do you base that on? Had a child who doesn't bring in money, it's still not prosperous for me. Why should the Nathan Group continue to exist?" Isabella mustered up her courage and spoke. I am so smart. A daughter raised with care is certainly no worse than a son. She can also lead Nathan Group to new glory. Nathan's mother was still hesitating, but after hearing Isabella's words, on the contrary, it became even more determined. Forget it. Girls are inherently not as good as boys. It's still the son who can manage the business. Okay, Evelyn, you and Nathan should hurry to get your marriage certificate. The Nathan Group wants your son to take over. Nathan nodded, frowning at Isabella. Isabella, you really went too far this time. I usually spoil you too much. I need to give Evelyn a compensation. Isabella hugged Nathan, crying sadly, Brother Nathan, I just love you too much. That's why I feel a bit jealous of Evelyn. I know I was wrong. It won't be like this again in the future. Can you forgive me? I have another way. I can have a son for you. Nathan was half convinced. After all, there are still feelings for Isabella, so I decided to give her another chance. If Isabella still can't conceive a son after I give birth, then Nathan will register for marriage with me and announce that our son would inherit the family fortune. After Nathan's mom and Nathan left, Isabella smiled coldly at me. Evelyn, if both of us have sons, who do you think Nathan Group will choose? I am still you. I answered without any concern. Let's talk about it when you're pregnant. You, Isabella left angrily. Half a month later, she brought back a man who appeared to be very ethereal to Nathan Group. Her lower abdomen is flat, because she has had a miscarriage. Brother Nathan, come and see the immortal I found. Practice martial arts with him. It can increase the probability of gender variation in children. Let you have more daughters. Nathan had some doubts, but the opportunity to change his genes made him willing to give it a try. So, he practiced his skills with the immortal in the morning. Spent the evening with Isabella. After 3 months of hard work, Isabella excitedly held up the ultrasound report. Brother Nathan, I am pregnant. It's a son. Nathan is very happy. He spun her around several times. Isabella, I really love you. I have always felt that you and I are a perfect match made in heaven. I want to organize a grand wedding for you. Isabella asked the question deliberately. What about Evelyn's son? I do not love her. Let that child go by themselves. Want to drive me away? It's not that simple. The past 3 months, I have been busy all along. I took out my phone, started watching the live broadcast on the side. Yo, this streamer looks very familiar. Isabella, isn't he that immortal elder Nathan? Come and take a look. The window display actually featured a video of Isabella and the fairy. Sell for 1 yuan. Surprisingly, it sold 100,000 copies. I set my phone to speaker mode. The image has zoomed in. On the big bed, the immortal master is interacting with Isabella. The sound was louder than the cries of cats in spring. Isabella was taken aback, immediately rushed over to try to grab my phone. As a result, the phone was dropped on the ground. Evelyn, you used AI face swapping to frame me. Then I cuddled Nathan and acted like a spoiled child. Nathan, my body and heart belong only to you. I would never do that. I took out another phone, waved it in front of her. There are still hundreds of videos here. AI face swapping. I don't have that capability. Isabella still wanted to continue throwing a tantrum, but Nathan snatched her phone away first. His gaze was very angry. Gave Isabella a slap. Isabella, are you just letting me be a dad like this? I don't want to see you again in the future. Go away. Isabella has lost a lot. She covered her face and ran away crying. This time, nothing can block my determination for revenge. Nathan and I registered for marriage. 1 month later, Nathan Group held a press conference. Just as Nathan was about to announce that his estate would be inherited by my son, the door was suddenly pushed open. Isabella has lost a lot of weight, but the eyes are still bright. She entered with a group of voluptuous women. Her face revealed a mix of heartache, sarcasm, satisfaction, and cruelty. Brother Nathan, I cannot give birth to a son, but they can, it turns out. Isabella found the women in the world who were most likely to give birth to sons. On average, each of them has given birth to more than 5 sons, except for being slightly older. No other issues. Nathan's face looked slightly unwell. Looking at Isabella, he said, You let me sleep with them. Nathan's mom slapped her thigh, regretting it immensely. Yeah, why didn't I think of this idea sooner? There are many genes in the world that are more commonly found in females than in males. There are also genes that are less male and more female in nature. The combination of the two. Then there will be no problem. She persuaded Nathan, give birth to one every day, always able to have a few sons. Son, the more nature, the better. Isabella looked at me and said, Since there will be a few sons in the future, that inheritance can't all be left to Evelyn's son. Nathan's mom is right. Of course, there are choices. We need to choose the most outstanding one to inherit the Nathan Group. Isabella smiled happily. No problem. I have already signed an agreement with them. Let the sons they give birth to belong to me. Afterwards, the fortune of the Nathan Group now belongs to my son. Nathan felt uncomfortable. Isabella, do you love my money more? Instead of me as a person, Isabella is smiling happily. Brother Nathan, what you said is really interesting. Your person includes your money, doesn't it? I obviously like them all. However, Nathan's mother does not care about this. She interrupted the press conference. Urged Nathan to hurry and marry those women. I looked at them coldly. What you say doesn't count. Don't regret it later. Nathan's mom was delighted to hear it. It was not taken to heart at all. I will soon have many grandchildren. Evelyn, you should learn to be understanding. Gentleness and thoughtfulness are essential to establish oneself at Nathan Group. I looked at Nathan. He gritted his teeth in order to have more sons. It's only right for me to put in some effort. Isabella proudly returned to Nathan Group with that group of women. I laughed coldly to myself. You all wait. It was night. Nathan brought a woman back to the bedroom. After turning off the lights, he began to make intimate gestures. Just as the atmosphere was getting intense, the phone suddenly rang. The light shone on the lady's face. Nathan was startled, exclaimed, "Who are you? How did you get on my bed?" It turned out to be a man, with thick eyebrows and big eyes. There is stubble on the face. The taste in the mouth is unpleasant. The man looked at me with innocent eyes. "Mr. Nathan, it's you who chose me. She also said that I am the most good-looking among them. No, how could I possibly like men?" Nathan was frightened. He rushed out of the room without even having time to get dressed. Exactly ran into me. I used my gender-swapping ability on the woman in bed. He glanced at him meaningfully. "Nathan, I didn't expect that you like men. You and that gentleman really seem like a good match. I'm even a bit eager to cheer on your relationship." Nathan was shivering like a little bird in the cold wind, appears both fragile and helpless. There is no resemblance to a domineering president at all. At this moment, Isabella came over when she heard the sound. I said with a smile, "Nathan, it's still Isabella who understands you. He actually found you a guy." Nathan was furious, rushed over and grabbed Isabella by the neck. "Isabella, where did I wrong you? How could you do something like this to frame me?" Isabella was choked until her eyes turned white. Even the complete sentence can't be articulated. Finally fainted. Nathan hurried over, grabbed my arm. Her eyes were filled with looking forward. "Evelyn, you know I don't like men. Can you help me prove this right?" I took a close look at him. After a while, I smiled a bit strangely. "You used to really like women, but now, I'm a bit unsure. What do you mean by that?" At that moment, Nathan's mother brought over the tiger whip soup. She saw Nathan completely naked, screamed in fright. The soup in his hand also spilled onto the ground. "Nathan, how did you become a woman?" Just at the moment when Nathan's mom was about to enter, I cast a gender reversal spell on Nathan. Now, everyone thinks he is a woman. He feels the same way himself. He stared blankly at his own body. How could this happen? I couldn't help but laugh beside it. "Nathan, when did you have gender transition surgery?" "It seems my son will not have a father in the future. There are only 2 mothers now." Nathan's mother retreated repeatedly, feeling both sad and angry. "Nathan, what are you doing? You do it this way. How can we honor the ancestors of the Nathan Group?" Nathan encountered 2 consecutive accidents. I feel a bit lost. Even began to doubt themselves. This is not right. I am clearly a man. How could it become a woman? I calmly offered him a suggestion. Perhaps we are just experiencing an illusion. Then you can ask others on the street. Let's see what everyone thinks about whether you are male or female. Nathan was extremely anxious, decided to ask immediately. That's right, I will go ask now. I can't believe I am a woman. He left Nathan Group in a hurry. On the road, I asked people whether I was male or female. Soon, he made it to the hot news. It is shocking. The president of Nathan Group has become a woman. It seems that something is wrong with his mind. Actually running naked on the street. Also harassed passers-by. He has now been detained by the police. Nathan's mother had a sullen expression. Take Nathan home from the police station. Nathan's gaze was vacant. Just talking to myself. Am I a man or a woman? Yes, I am a woman. However, a girl cannot become the president of Nathan Group. Girls are too foolish, boys are better. Mom, I am really a man. If you don't believe me, you can test me. I can score full marks. Nathan's mom listened. He was immediately taken to a psychiatric hospital. She held my hand, crying very sadly. Evelyn, from now on, the Nathan Group will rely on you. Fortunately, you are pregnant with my grandson. Otherwise, Nathan will become a woman. I really don't know what to do. I held her hand, seriously speaking. Mom, rest assured, I will raise the child well. Let Nathan Group develop better. Nathan's mom was very happy to hear that. No longer considering Nathan at all. Focus on taking care of me and the child. The Nathan Group cannot function without a president. So after I finish my confinement period, I handed the child over to Nathan's mother, managed the affairs of Nathan Group. 3 years later, I have re-established the Nathan Group, became the largest shareholder. In order to protect the children, I concealed my identity, let the child attend an ordinary kindergarten just like everyone else. One day, I went to the kindergarten to pick up my child. Suddenly, the kidnapper covered his face with a hood, still had a knife held to my throat. Let me make a call to ask for money. I tried to calm myself down, say, "Are you mistaking me for someone else?" "Impossible," Isabella said. "The son of the president of Nathan Group is studying here. He was tied up. The Nathan Group will spend a lot of money." This voice sounds very familiar. I was startled. I remember that they were the 4 bodyguards who killed me in my past life. I fired them, but there is still no way to punish them. I never expected they would come to us willingly. I immediately canceled the gender reversal enhancement on my child. But clearly, I was picking up my daughter, not the son. Believe it, you can take a closer look again. The kidnapper was half convinced, lifting the child's hood to take a look. Indeed, it is a daughter. I smiled. The Isabella you mentioned. Is it Isabella? She was actually just jealous that I married Nathan, deliberately lying in front of you. I want to use you to deal with me. You have been deceived by her. Not only can't I get the money, if something was done to us, they might also have to go to jail. The kidnappers were very angry upon hearing this. They let me and my daughter go. However, they kidnapped Isabella, want to extort 1 billion. However, the Isabella family was already on the brink of bankruptcy. Where could one possibly get the money to ransom a person? Finally, Isabella has been harmed. Not even a body was left behind. I assisted the police in capturing 4 kidnappers. In the end, they were all sentenced to death when I received this news. My daughter and I are playing on the swing. Mom, push harder, I want to fly higher. Okay, Mom will help you, our laughter. It can be transmitted very far away. 20 years later, the daughter has officially taken over Nathan Group, become the new president. She bravely reformed, take Nathan Group's business to the next level. At this time, Nathan's mother is already quite old, lying on the hospital bed. I went to see her. She looked at me with satisfaction. "Evelyn, thank you for giving me a good son. Like this, I can go and take a look at the ancestors of the Nathan Group with peace of mind." I said to her with a smile, "Mom, how can you talk nonsense? I indeed gave birth to a daughter." I removed the golden finger from my daughter. All photos and videos of the daughter have been restored to her original appearance. I turned on the computer. Nathan's mother clearly saw her daughter having a meeting with her subordinates, radiant and full of vigor. Nathan's mother couldn't take it anymore. The emotional breakdown occurred. "No, the Nathan Group cannot pass the responsibility to their daughter. Where is my grandson? Please return my grandson." The doctor rushed in to provide emergency care. The scene was in chaos. I quietly walked out of the ward. "Raise your head. All that can be seen is the vast sky." I took revenge, also gained freedom.